Don't say anything, don't do anything, don't be about anything. That's the only way to avoid rejection in life. Oh, I think fear of rejection and fear of failure are probably some of the primary reasons why few of us ever come close to reaching our potential in life. So I've been thinking a lot about rejection of late, and I've come to the realization that rejection and failure are an integral part of life. They're an integral part of the formula. They're an integral part of success. I have been rejected so many times in my life, and I'm not looking for sympathy here, but one major rejection that comes top of mind was my rejection from the United States military. And this was something deeply, deeply central to my identity. I tried to get in for 14 years. The idea of serving in the United States military, pursuing a career in the military, and maybe getting a commission as an officer after college was a huge forcing function for me to change my life in many respects, to turn my life around. So when that door once was unceremoniously slammed in my face, oh, it was incredible. It was a major blow to my confidence and my identity. I even thought about joining the French Foreign Legion. You can't make this up. We will talk about this in subsequent videos, but I had to keep moving forward. I think a lot about I applied to a number of colleges before I got into UC Berkeley, was rejected. Oh, and I think about some of the rejection that I experienced. Folks, I'm just going to be perfectly honest. I'm going to put this out there. Modern dating sucks. I'm married now, thankfully. I think about some of the rejection I had on Tinder and Bumble and Hinge. It's so cringe in retrospect. But you know what? That's part of life. Because what would the alternative have been, right? Being like celibate, being a monk, going off to like the monastery or something. No, I had to put myself out there. And in many instances, I was rejected when I put myself out there, even when I put my best foot forward, because that's part of life. I work in sales. Last point I'll make here. I work in sales. And so I'm now of the belief that every no brings me closer to a yes, means that I'm closer to a yes. But my point is that rejection is everywhere. Failure is everywhere. And it is such an integral part of life. So there's another element of failure. There's another element of rejection I want to talk about. And it's a hidden element of failure and rejection. We talk a lot about, people who never start, people who are afraid of failure and they never get started on their journey. They never even try. And that's terrible. That's tragic because I think all of us have infinite potential. But there's a secondary element to this equation. And because, folks, this is a philosophy channel, if you'll indulge me, allow me to ask the rhetorical question. What happens when you try, you put your best foot forward? Let's just say, for the sake of argument, you're playing by the rules, you're doing all the right things, and you're rejected anyway. You fail anyway. Oh, I think that secondary element to the equation, in many instances, might even be more tragic than the folks who never got started. Hear me out. The folks who got started, tried, made some progress, and then failed, and then stopped. Oh, that's incredibly tragic because that's where we hear the stories of, I could have been a contender once. I could have been a contender once. Oh, such an incredibly powerful line. Here's another example. I used to speak really good Spanish, but I forgot all my Spanish, or I reached a point in my learning of the Spanish language where it just got so hard, it got so complex, all the different tenses, future tense, past tense, I gave up. Wow. Or lastly, you hear this all the time, I used to be in shape, but life happened. And so my point, folks, is this inflection point right here where you try, you get started on your journey, maybe you make some progress, you have some forward momentum, and then bang, inertia, failure, rejection. Do I keep going? That's where we're at, folks. That's where I'm at personally in life. That incredible hinge point, the dangerous middle. And so the answer is, of course we keep going. In fact, just to close it out, The fact that many of us are experiencing failure, getting a little, and failure seems very absolute. I just mean, relatively speaking, for many of us, we're experiencing setback. We're experiencing rejection. We're experiencing failure. We're experiencing inertia. We're experiencing challenges. Is precisely the signal in our environment that we're in the arena. Because if you haven't failed, you haven't tried. Folks, if you're in hell right now, keep going. I'll see you on the other side, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.